Will I get COVID-19 from the vaccine?
None of the authorized or recommended COVID-19 vaccines that are available in the US right now contain the live virus that causes COVID-19 disease. In addition, there are newer vaccines that are in development. None of those contain the live virus that cause COVID-19 disease either. What this means is that the vaccines cannot give you COVID-19 disease.
With restrictions being relaxed, do I need to get the vaccine?
You should get a COVID-19 vaccine as soon as you possibly can. Wearing masks and social distancing can reduce your ability to spread the disease or get the disease from other people. However, getting the vaccine and following other recommendations like wearing masks is the best thing we can do to protect ourselves and others.
Which vaccine is right for me?
The best vaccine is the first vaccine that's available to you. There are several different COVID-19 vaccines that are authorized for use in the United States. Having these different types of vaccines allows for some flexibility and options. It's really important to understand, though, that all of these vaccines prevent serious illness, hospitalization, or death from COVID-19. CDC actually does not have a recommendation for the use of one brand over another, and you shouldn't wait to receive a specific vaccine.
How long will it take to be effective?
With the vaccines that are currently available in the United States, you are considered fully vaccinated 2 weeks after your final dose. So if the vaccination that you're receiving is a one-dose regimen, then 2 weeks after that dose, you are considered fully vaccinated. If you are receiving a vaccine that has 2 doses, then you are considered fully vaccinated and protected after 2 weeks after the second dose. It's important to understand that until that time that you are fully vaccinated, you should continue protective measures like wearing masks and socially distancing.
How do we know that these vaccines are safe and that they work?
COVID-19 vaccines are safe and effective. They were evaluated in tens of thousands of participants in the initial clinical trials. The results of that trial showed that the vaccines were effective at preventing serious illness and death from COVID-19. These vaccines met FDA's rigorous standards when it comes to safety, manufacturing quality, and effectiveness. At this point, tens of millions of people have received COVID-19 vaccines in the United States. Currently, we continue to monitor for safety of these vaccines through already established safety systems and new safety systems so that we can ensure that COVID-19 vaccines remain safe.
Should I expect any side effects?
After getting vaccinated, some people do report having side effects. It's a normal sign that your body is building protection. It is fairly common to experience some pain, soreness, maybe swelling or redness in the arm in which you received your vaccine. Other people report that they can feel some general symptoms, fatigue, fevers or chills, nausea. This often can happen a day after you receive the vaccine, but these symptoms usually only last 1 to 2 days. People have reported these symptoms most commonly after the second shot of a 2-dose series.
Does one vaccine hurt more than the others?
One vaccine does not hurt more than the others, but some people experience pain, redness, and swelling in the arm where they received the vaccine. To address those symptoms, some people put a wet, cool washcloth over their arm, and we do recommend that you gently use your arm or exercise it a little bit in order to address the pain.
Should I get the vaccine if I've already had COVID-19?
You should be vaccinated even if you've already had COVID-19. That's because at this time, experts do not know how long you will be protected after having COVID-19, and there is a chance that you could get sick again if you do not get vaccinated. Even if you've recovered from COVID-19, It's possible that you could get reinfected with the virus that causes the disease. We think this is rare, but it is still possible. In circumstances where you had COVID 19 and received certain treatments, you may need to wait 90 days before you get vaccinated. It's really important to talk with your doctors if you received any treatments or if you have any additional questions about getting the vaccine.
How long will a COVID-19 vaccine protect me from the virus?
Experts are still learning about how long protection will last after receiving the COVID 19 vaccine. What we do know is that COVID 19 has caused very serious illness and death for many people. At this time, getting the COVID vaccine is the right choice.
What happens if not everyone in my family wants to be vaccinated?
Getting vaccinated is a personal choice. However, the COVID 19 vaccination is the most important tool we have to stop the pandemic. We really recommend that you talk with your family members, understand their concerns, have a conversation with them, and share credible information. It is helpful to talk with your healthcare providers and ensure that your family can ask all of their questions and get important information to make the decision.
Will homeless individuals be screened for eligibility based on pre-existing conditions before getting the vaccine?
Screening for medical conditions will not slow down the process to get a vaccine. All the current vaccines available right now can be administered to people with underlying medical conditions. People that have allergic reactions to any of the ingredients in the vaccine should not take the vaccine.
Is it safe for people who are currently using drugs to get vaccinated?
It is safe for anyone who is currently using alcohol or drugs to get vaccinated as soon as possible.
Is COVID-19 vaccination safe for people who are currently pregnant or want to become pregnant?
If you are pregnant, trying to become pregnant, or want to get pregnant in the future, we recommend that you get a COVID vaccine as soon as you can. There's currently no evidence that the COVID 19 vaccinations cause any problems with pregnancy or with fertility. And the types of vaccines that are authorized, we do not expect them to cause any problems with pregnancy or with fertility.
Should individuals take acetaminophen, like Tylenol, or any other over-the-counter meds to avoid vaccine side effects?
At this time, we recommend that you do not take antihistamines or other over the counter medications prior to receiving the vaccination. Medicines like ibuprofen, Tylenol, or acetaminophen, or aspirin should be avoided before. However, if you experience side effects, you can take those medicines after the vaccination.
Can you take the vaccine if you also take PrEP HIV medication?
Everyone should get the COVID 19 vaccination as soon as they possibly can. This includes people who are taking PrEP HIV medication.
How long is the needle that's used for the vaccination?
Needle gauge and length do vary by age, gender, and weight, but typically adults receive the vaccination through a 21 gauge thin needle that's 1 to 1.5 inches long. These are the same needles that are often used for other vaccinations.
Why did you decide to get the vaccination?
I got the vaccine because it is the single most important thing each of us as individuals can do to stop the pandemic. When we each get a vaccination, it doesn't just protect us, it protects those that we love, our family and friends. It protects the broader community. So, those that we interact with are essential workers, people that are working in our healthcare settings. A lot of us have questions about the vaccines, and not many of us have time to read all of the information that's coming out about them. I really recommend talking to those people in our communities that are experts, healthcare providers, and others where we can have those concerns answered and ensure that we're making the best decision for each of us as individuals. I myself was able to talk to a number of different healthcare providers about these vaccinations, and it really strengthened my confidence that getting these vaccines was not only safe, but it would help us really stop the pandemic and really prevent people from getting ill or dying.